So, last time we were here in the Syndicate file, the detective agency owned by Quill and Joseph were still puzzled over a mysterious case of the murder of Howard Davis, recruiting their friend and friendly milkmaid Anastasia. The group decided to investigate this murder, finding out that it was a one Mr. Yang Tao in the address of 147 Whitechapel Road. Along the way, they found a strange note that read, if I'm correct, "The land is ours, time to fortify. S." And as the case came to a close, they heard a very loud commotion, followed by a load of people running away from the source of it. Deciding to run against the flow, they encountered the carnaged remains of a horse-drawn carriage toppled over in the middle of one of these streets. And that is where we pick it up, as obviously Anastasia since Erin is currently unavailable to play tonight due to their considerable illness, they will obviously leave Joseph and Quill to investigate the streets of Whitechapel for any mention of this Mr. S. Which leaves Joseph and Quill at the scene of this accident. So just to reiterate, obviously in the middle of this crossroad in London, just outside the main offices of Scotland Yard, you see a overturned horse-drawn carriage. The two horses at the front, well, one of them lies trapped underneath the carriage itself. The other has bolted to God knows where. The carriage itself is slightly ablaze with some smoke coming from what was the inside. And obviously people run in all different directions as you hear bells being rung and whistles being blown for constabulary and firemen to try and tackle the blaze.
Okay.
What is it you would like to do?
I get closer to the carriage to see if there's any like markings or names on it.
As you get closer to the carriage, obviously you start to feel the fire. Obviously, as you get closer, the carriage itself is very scratched, very marked. Make a investigation check for me.
Can I make the check as well?
Yep, go for it.
Dirty 20.
$24.
So, as I take it both of you are going over by the sound of it. So, you go over, you see that one of the horse's reins have been cut free so that the horse could escape. The other didn't get quite so fortunate. Looking at the wheels of the cart itself, you see that the front two have been near splintered off. And you see going down the middle of them is a iron rod. A very long iron rod to immobilize the carriage. As you go further down the cart, you see that the windows, well, all the windows are broken. Some of the ones on the doors were smashed in. You can tell by how the shards are laid out and the remnants within the actual window itself. Whereas the back window was smashed on the impact with the cobbles. Reaching around to the back, you see the trunk compartment open, and a few of the things have been looted, but not all of them. As it's at that point you hear another horse-drawn cart, a much bigger one, being the sort of pseudo-fire engine, quote-unquote, as they arrive and start filling up their buckets, and they sort of run away. They push you to the side a little just to get you out of the way, as then they douse the flames and keep the area under control.
So the door windows you said were smashed in, like from the outside inwards, right?
From the inside out. Well, no, from the
Oh,
outside
to
in.
escape.
From the outside in.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I don't know why I processed it the wrong way.
That's fine. I'm just trying to figure out if it stopped and then got hit, or if it somehow got hit while moving and then it crashed.
So the iron rod stopping the wheels, it's not supposed to be there, like it isn't part of the cart.
Oh, 100% not. You can see that, obviously, between the spokes of the wheel, it's threaded through both of them, and it's pushed against the cart itself, so then it would just, as soon as...
Oh,
Yeah, as then it would flip.
okay. Um,
I'm trying to figure out how you, like, get that through London without being highly conspicuous.
I guess if you're moving it with like, is there any scaffolding companies around?
There are a few, obviously, in and around London itself. There's none in this street specifically, but there are, obviously, scaffolding companies within the city.
Is there any alleyways where you could easily hide a massive pole nearby?
Oh, plenty. Just looking around, you can spy half a dozen of them.
So, like, just half a dozen alleys or half a dozen metal poles?
Half a dozen alleys to hide
Okay.
things.
That's a thought and a half. Okay. Which is the closest alley to where the cart is?
As you look around, you've got the main street going from sort of southwest up north, and you've got the bisecting one going from west to east. As you look towards the southwesterly road, you can see one just within past one of the shops. That is your nearest alley to the impact site.
Can I have a look in there for any suspicious individuals?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'm getting good this game. That is a mighty 21. Nope. That's a 16, not an 18. That is a 19.
Still pretty good. You see obviously a few crates, a few remains of pallets. You see no real disturbance into what was potentially already there. You do, however, see on the ground some boot prints, as this, much like many alleys in London, especially towards Whitechapel and the more poorer sides, you see that the path is dirt instead of cobblestone. And you do see... Yep, go on.
Something to see how heavy the person with the boot prints are. Like how deep their prints go.
Go ahead and make me a survival check.
That is a 12.
Definitely a man wearing boots.
They're heavier than one of your rats.
I hope so. Over that, I have some very overweight
Perhaps even heavier than all your rats combined.
Okay, I'm gonna head back to Quill.
Okay, so while Joseph has been doing this, what's Quill been doing?
I'm taking a closer look at the metal rod to try and figure out, like, what exactly it is. Like, if it's something generally used for something else, or if it's been made specifically for this, or, like, maybe where it's been made.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check. General intelligence.
23.
As you look at the rod itself, you see that it's a standard metal pipe or metal pole within London. These are used from scaffolding to the docks, from places like the Tower of London all the way to Westminster. This is just a standard, bog standard pole.
Okay. So it could be from literally anywhere, and there's nothing to
Yeah,
distinguish. Okay.
it could be from any part of London.
Right, so it's from within London. That really narrows it down.
Yep, that narrows it down to one small part of England, which you're currently in.
And England is just a tiny part of Europe, which
Yeah,
is
and
only like a seventh of the world.
Exactly, so you're getting closer.
Can I see if what's left in the trunk after certain things were taken?
Right, let me pull up my document because I had this prepared.
Have a look too.
uh, So, within the boot of the carriage itself, you see a few bags of like oddities, just general stuff. But you see two small cases, one of which houses a bracelet, another holds a medallion.
They left the jewelry. These robbers were after something very specific, or just couldn't open this case.
What? Well, first of all, were the cases locked?
Try 'em.
Wait, how do we know what's in them? Or
There's-
are they like glass cases?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
a small box with a glass lid.
Okay.
What does the jewelry look like?
Looking, which one are you looking at? The bracelet or the medallion?
I'll look at the bracelet first.
You look at the bracelet, and it's got a very sort of Latin design to it. It's very ornate. It's very sort of ceremonial. It does have some Latin on it, and the Latin, translating to English, reads, "From the land of the Franks, from the land of Charlemagne." So you can determine that from your astute knowledge of history that this bracelet is from France.
Okay.
From the land of the Franks to the land of Charlemagne.
Yes.
We've had a Chinese criminal. Let's find ourselves a French one. Is there any cafes nearby?
Not in this area.
Okay. Because that's the first thing I believe we stole from the French that I can actually remember. Is there any labels to say which shop it came from? Or is that all it says?
That's all it says. There's no actual marking on the case itself. But obviously, you can tell that this bracelet has come from France. That's as much as you can determine.
What about the medallion?
The medallion, it's very contrasting in its design. It's more Slavic, it's more Balkan-esque. But without taking a closer look, you can just tell it's from the Balkans.
Can I try and look in the carriage, or the firemen gonna get in the way?
Nope, they've done their duty. They're more just keeping people away. As you look inside, you see a couple, a very aristocratic couple, very high in society.
They're now a very toasty couple.
Are they deceased?
Yes, they are dead.
Okay. Just
How dead?
Dead. Go ahead and make me a history check, Toby.
I'm gonna see how dead they're dead.
And you're gonna see if you actually recognize these people.
Okay.
It's your parents.
Mr. and Mrs. Singuff.
History.
How does it feel
That
to be
is a
close to Batman?
13.
You recognize these people. Obviously, they're from the richer parts of, like, Westminster, but you can't quite place your finger on who they are.
So, any idea or anything?
Nothing to distinguish them.
Can I try? How well put together is their face? Is it like burnt all hell, or is it still relatively recognizable?
There's a few burns, not enough to disfigure, but there's enough burns to sort of give it a nice little cooked marshmallow sort of style.
I draw a picture of
Mm.
the face in the notebook.
Yes.
Like the faces, sorry.
Yes. So
I want you to know, I will remember that every time I eat marshmallows from now on.
Like the couple. Oh.
Yeah, you're just gonna toast a marshmallow. Aww. I remember these. So what's Quill doing while Joseph's gonna draw down these people's faces?
I'm search like the front compartment of the carriage for any clues.
Okay, so go ahead and make me a history check as you open up the front compartment.
Ooh, I'm good at that.
You
27.
So as you open up, you immediately recognize this style of luggage. It's very ornate. It's very upper class. It's definitely from Westminster. And as you look down towards one of the bags, you see a label on it that says Mr. Kensington.
What does Mr. Kensington mean?
It's the name of the person.
Okay. Do I know Mr. Kensington?
You can put two and two really quickly together, as the person inside is inside the carriage was Mr. Kensington. You did not know them personally, but you knew of them from high society.
Wait, hang on. Was Mr. Kensington mentioned last session? Let me check over my notes and then.
I don't think so.
Okay, well if he was, then I just wasn't paying attention.
He wasn't.
Okay.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to look over your notes before I said anything.
Okay. And is that all there is in the front area?
Yeah, it's just a load more of just upper class luggage with one housing the label of Mr. Kensington.
If this were any other D&D campaign, I would loot the corpses.
I mean,
Anastasia did last
We're gonna-
session, did they
oh,
not?
we're in a. They looted the person's house. It's not like we ruffled their pockets that
Mm.
time. I mean, no, I didn't think we did.
So, as you finish your investigation of the front luggage compartment, Joseph, you finish up your drawing of the man and the lady.
I'm going to show it to Quill and say, "Do you know who this is? I feel like I remember them, but I'm not sure where."
The man is Mr. Kensington.
And I'm guessing I know that name from high society as well.
Yeah, once Quill says Mr. Kensington, that's when it clicks back and you're like, ah, that's who it was.
I click my fingers and go, "That's who the dead one is."
What's Mr. Kensington known for?
Mr. Kensington is known for his large shipping industry. Obviously moving a lot of goods through a couple of ports in London, much like a load of other companies. Obviously he has his house in Westminster, a couple streets down from Buckingham Palace, actually. And
We know this.
yeah, I'd
You
say
know where his house is.
I would say Quill would.
Oh, okay.
Joseph, you're just like, have you seen this man? But generally, he's one of those rich, upper class, I'm opened a business, I took the money, I'm now laughing, ha ha ha.
Berling, I see.
Yes.
He laughs no more.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, where's the carriage driver at?
Gone. Just fucking bolted.
Like, he ran away or he died?
He booked it first sign he could.
Okay.
That's suspicious.
Hmm.
Can I check the doors for any tampering?
Make me an investigation check. That's going to be the main role of this campaign.
5!
Can I make the investigation check?
Yes, because Joseph doesn't see anything.
It's the door.
Yeah, Joseph just
And I
looks.
got a 22.
Joseph just looks like it's a solid wooden door right there.
Door.
Door. As Quill, you go over, you take a look. You can see that these doors were made to shut and not particularly open properly. So the actual latch itself had been tampered with.
Would Mr. Kensington have, like, a private carriage driver, or would it just be someone he hired in this city?
He has his own. Well, he had his own.
Would there be any way I could find out, like, the identity of who that is? Because they just booked it.
I would say you wouldn't have access to that information, like, offhand. You'd have to go searching for it.
Where would I go searching for it?
Most likely his house.
Okay. I have another idea. If we go to the bank, would we be allowed to see his last transaction to see if he paid the driver for the trip just now, or is it like a salary type thing?
I mean, you could try. There's nothing stopping you.
Because I don't know where his house is.
No,
And if
it's
he's
like
just, like,
near
lost a
Buckingham
lot of
Palace.
Oh. Ooh.
Should we head over to his address then?
Yeah, I don't know which bank he goes to. It might not be Lloyd's. Yep, let's have a look.
So you're gonna try and find his house?
Cash off me, and then try and find his house.
You're gonna try, that being the optimal word.
I mean, so, do I know where his address is?
You would
Or
know.
do I just know that it's roughly near Buckingham Palace?
You would know it's near Buck Palace. Where around it, you wouldn't know, but you would know it's near. Let me pull up my map of London. Cool.
I'm imagining Mark doesn't have like a laptop or anything, and he's just generally pulling scrolls out from under the desk and just like.
Yeah, I'm just
Yep,
rifling through
round
different.
about here.
Yeah, I'm just rifling through scrolls with like a magnifying glass.
Before we go searching elsewhere, I'll just search, like, the area and the carriage as a whole for any more clues.
Okay, just looking inside the carriage one last time, you see a lot of. Obviously, you see Lord and Lady Kensington dead. You see a lot of scratches, a lot of claws. Well, not claw marks, but slice marks from where you could potentially garner that blade had been swung and missed its target a few times.
So the scratches are, like,
Okay.
on the inside of the cabin?
Yes. There's scratches on the outside and there's scratches on the inside.
I assumed the outside ones were from the crash, but it might be something else.
Can I tell from the scratches how long the blade is?
They're small. These blades were little more than 4 inches.
Finding my closest ruler. 1 second.
10 centimeters for those who do not know imperial measurements.
Nice. Okay. So we went from a relatively longer knife with one wound to a smaller knife, and possibly lots of attempts at wounds.
So, are you two gonna head off to Westminster, try and find Mr. Kensington's house?
Where would I be able to find out what his exact address is?
Most likely one of his businesses or the bank, potentially the yard itself if they've had any dealings with him. But other than that, you would have to be literally relying on knocking on doors.
I don't think he would have been involved in any crimes to be in our, like, office, like, files on him. The bank, I'm not sure how well we handled the bank last time.
Pretty fucking good if I'm gonna say anything.
Let's change that today.
Oh no! Oh
We
no!
don't have the milkmaid advantage, though, that's the problem.
The milkmaid advantage.
It's standard practice when interrogating banks, always bring a milkmaid.
Noted. Noted. In my main campaign, it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the bank. It's like, have you got a milkmaid? Everyone's gonna look at me so confused, and she was gonna be like, wait, we need a milkmaid.
Just all goes better with a milkmaid.
Oh yeah, 100%. So where are you heading off to, boys?
Probably. We may as well check the bank. Since it's nearest. No, actually, Scotland Yard is nearest. We may as well go there first.
I'll just follow you, to be fair.
Okay, so you head back down from where you came to the yards. You make your way inside to the front desk, and the receptionist behind is just... And how may I help you today?
Do you have any records on one Mr. Kensington?
Let me check, give me a moment. As they stand up, they head through a door at the back. As you look around, you see, obviously the place is on a little bit of a high alert because of what's just happened in one of the neighbouring streets, but it's not too long before they return and they sit back down. We have no previous dealings with Mr. Kensington.
Insight.
Go on.
Shiza. So, that is an 8.
They have no previous dealings with Mr. Kensington.
Okay.
I'm
Do
not
you
sure where the
have-
receptionist would lie about this.
The bank. He can be too cautious. Do you have anything on Mrs. Kensington?
One moment. As they get up, they go out back again. It's a couple more minutes before they return. Again, we've got nothing on Lady Kensington either.
Well, that's the right name?
I can assure you,
No.
I know how to spell Kensington, sir.
Hang on, out of game. Would it be illegal to check Kensington's pockets?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and check Kensington's pockets.
Are you taking Joseph with you?
It does
No, I'll
Joseph
stay
want to
here.
come?
I'll
I'm not
stay here,
forced
just
to drag you.
interrogating.
So Joseph's gonna stay. Quilt, you
Can I roll history on the company name by any chance?
on the company that you can certainly try.
A 7?
You think you want to garner a guess at logistics of Kensington Man?
Excuse me, can you check for anything to do with the logistics of Kensington? Maybe as a business name?
Anything else you want me to check while I'm out there? Saves me rubber banding back and forth.
Would it be possible want me to check all the Ks or no?
Are you happy to wait?
How many Ks do you have?
There's a lot of Ks, sir.
Yeah, do you have any... Can I just see all of the business ones?
Do you have authorization to look at our records?
Man's been... Give me enough authorization.
You see the receptionist sort of look around, and one of the others just gives them a thumbs up. It's like, right, follow me. So they lead you to where all the archives are and walks you down a load of aisles. There's the K section. Feel free to go nuts.
Kensington in all of the Ks.
It's alphabetically arranged, don't worry.
Thank God. Do I
So,
have to roll to find the right one, or...?
I'll just say it takes a period of time.
Okay.
So, while you're sifting through all that, Quill,
Yes.
you return to the scene. Obviously, it's now got a very heavy police presence, but they don't mind you. They know you and your antics. They allow you in. As you obviously climb back onto the carriage, you still see Lord and Lady Kensington draped inside.
Still deceased?
Yes, they're still dead. They can't be alive.
Never say never.
Bruh. Victorian English people thought that you could cure insanity with a lobotomy.
Maybe you can cure death with a lobotomy.
No!
Has anyone tried?
Yes! It's called Victorian physicians.
Thank you for this illness that's wiping a chicken's ass on you. That will surely do it.
But you see, a negative times a negative is a positive.
But no, Shiva, no!
Anyway, I must check the coat pocket.
I'm confused how that correlated at all with Victorian medicine, but okay.
I have no idea how we got on that tangent, but we got on it and we got off it. So,
You're just too intelligent for Joseph to comprehend, I see.
looking through Mr. Kensington's pockets, you see a pocket watch. Obviously, every distinguished gentleman in London has one. You see a pair of spectacles, hand spectacles. You find a handkerchief. And most importantly, the key to his estate.
Does the key say where his estate is?
Yes, it does.
Where is his estate?
Let me get the right address for you. It's at 27 Pall Mall.
How's that spelled?
Pallmall.
The Monopoly board is coming out to play.
No, I just looked at the street and I was like, hang on a minute, that says Pall Mall. 350 quid, I'll buy that.
Oh God, don't tempt me.
Just gotta roll snake eyes and I can get Mayfair.
We've solved enough cases. I can afford to buy all of Pall Mall.
And I can build I can build properties and a hotel on it as well. Haha.
I can tax everyone who steps on the lawn.
Explicitly the lawn. Pavements and buildings are completely fine. Second they touch grass, it's just
1,500 quid,
please.
Yeah, 1,500 quid, please.
And to get my hotel.
Yeah.
Is that all that's on Kensington?
Yes.
No, like, business card or anything?
No.
Okay. I'm go retrieve Joseph from his torment of his own creation.
Okay, so as you go back and collect Joseph, We'll switch to him as you encase yourself in loads of different files and loads of different documents. It's like a child playing with Lego. You just backed yourself into a corner, just surrounded by mountains of paper, and you're like, there has to be something in these. And then eventually being let in by the receptionist about what seems to you as not a lot of time at all, but has actually been about 5-10 minutes. You hear the footsteps of some very nice shoes approaching, as then you see Quill just over the top of your pile of papers.
You are aware you'll have to put those back, the order you found them, if you want to get invited back.
I was hoping we could leave very quickly when I'm done.
Well, anyway, I found where Mr. Kensington lives, as he just holds up the key in his hand.
I see. I just wanted to see what his latest few deals were. He's obviously either sold or just bought those things. He was
We're
robbed,
in
and I'm not
Scotland
sure what was-
Yard, not the bank.
Yeah, never mind. I'm just gonna get up and run away.
I'm gonna put the files back in alphabetical order, if that's the way they're ordered.
Yes, so as Quill spends about 20 minutes meticulously putting them back as they were, Joseph, you run outside and you think, oh, thank God I'm not dealing with that shit. It's, as I say, about 20-30 minutes before Quill you do emerge. It's stressful doing that, so you do sort of leave with that sort of I'm going to kill you look.
Feel better now.
Let's just head over to Pall Mall.
See. Do you know what number it is, or just somewhere on Paramount?
27.
So, as you make your way through the streets, you go you go down the Strand, you enter Charing Cross, you take the appropriate turning off to Pall Mall. You obviously walk down the street until you stand outside of 27. It's incredibly posh. And you have the key in your hand. This is probably a moment you'll never get again, but you're here for business, not pleasure.
I'm ahead in.
Oh, place. Can I look around to see if anyone's watching me?
You only see a few children sort of wandering about the streets, a few lamplighters getting ready to start their shifts as dusk is slowly approaching.
Okay, Aaron, I will say, like, if Anastasia was there, there wouldn't be anyone to report the stuff missing. Since everyone who lives there is dead.
If I have a child.
Not after
An
Anastasia's done. There can be no
God.
witnesses.
You're the one planning the murders now. Hold on.
Hold
You're
on.
meant to be the detective.
This is the case. This is the case I never planned for.
It's not a crime until you get caught.
No, you're not a criminal to your court. It's a crime once it happens.
Yeah, but it's not your crime until you're caught. Anyway, let's head in.
I'm just gonna wait for them to open the door. Yeah.
So as you go past the metal gate, you walk up the stairs, you slot the key, and you unlock the house, you swing the door open. It's, as you would expect, a aristocratic house to be in this part of London. As you see,
I'm going to simply say, hello, is anyone home?
as you do, you hear it echo a little before you hear, "Oh, Master Kensington, thank God." Oh! You're not. Who are you, and how did you get in?
We're investigating Master Kensington's death.
And we used that key to get in. As I point to the key we just used.
Good lord, he was murdered? Oh, the
We're
horror!
trying to figure out whom.
Oh, the horror! Where am I going to go now? I have no employer! Oh no. Oh no, indeed.
Particularly happy about that, but I don't think you did it, judging by that shock.
Master Kensington was my employer. I worked as the butler, as you could say. I am now without employment. I am nothing.
Do you know the identity of his carriage driver?
Oh. Oh, you mean Tobias?
Is that his name?
Yes. Yes, he's a personal chauffeur. He knows London like the back of his hand.
Do you know if he was sick today or anything? Was he doing his usual today?
Oh, he was doing his usual job. He was chauffeuring them. He chauffeured them to the docks, and he chauffeured them to just outside Parliament. And then he was chauffeuring them up to Victoria Park for some reason, but I guess they never made it, unfortunately.
Do you know his full name?
It was... I always just called him Tobias, but I think his surname was Cannery. Yes, Tobias Cannery.
Roughly how long were they chauffeuring the couple?
Why, about 6 months, since the last one fell into the River Thames and we realised he couldn't swim.
I understand your master ran a goods company. Has there been any thievery before? Any missing stock?
Oh, there's always the occasional missing stock, so Master Kensington usually frustrated about. He liked to blame all sorts of factors, whether it was people in Europe or if it was his dock workers, I do not know.
Has there been any incidents since Tobias joined the force, let's say?
No more than usual. The occasional shanghaiing of cargo, the occasional ship goes missing in the Atlantic somewhere. It's just common stuff for a tradesperson.
Now, what would be more precious than, say, a bracelet and a necklace being transported by said company?
A bracelet and a Oh! Those must have been the things he wrote back about from Belgrade.
Back about anything else, or just those two items?
He wrote back on the last day of his travels. Him and his wife were going across Europe. And actually, let me get the letter for you. Let me get the letter as he gingerly runs upstairs. And
But
then
you just said, was this? I was under the impression was. Has this been a male this entire time?
a very skittish male.
Okay. Sorry, I assumed otherwise. That's my bad.
As they then come back waving a letter in hand as their shoes do that tip tap on the floor as they then hand a letter to you.
Can I scan through for all the items?
So obviously starting off, you see it at the top. You see it is addressed to one Charles Whiting, who you can sort of assume is the butler. There's no other mention of items apart from the bracelet and the medallion. Obviously, it mentions a load of sites from Paris, Antwerp, to Hessen, Baden, Württemberg, Bavaria, Bohemia, well, part of Austria, Vienna, and then going down to Belgrade, and then coming home via the Mediterranean.
Okay. I feel like I should have written that down. I'll admit. I'm gonna look back at the butler. Did they send you any more letters? Did they meet anyone aboard that might have come back to get something from them?
Oh, no. They only send them intermittently from Paris, Hessen, Munich, and Vienna. It was mainly just about how their trip was going and all that fun stuff.
Does the company often swap items or just sell and buy?
Occasionally, from what I've heard, they have the odd rare item come through that's very, very crucial. So, obviously, they have to take great care of that. It's usually trinkets and medallions from overseas.
Well, the medallion and the bracelet was recovered, but something else seems to be taken. We're just trying to figure out what that something is, so we can figure out who wanted it badly enough to send them alive.
Well, I do not know. If you want to, you can search his study. It's just up, first floor.
Am I leading the way?
Oh, allow me to show you. Oh, don't mind the mess. It's been a while since Master Kensington has been here.
Okay. Don't worry, my workplace isn't the tidiest either.
As he walks both of you up the stairs to the study room, you then see him open the door. It swings open. Compared to your offices, is fucking meticulous. He just seems back and is like, there's a little bit of a mess in there, but try not to look too much into it. I've been very busy recently.
Where's the mess?
Oh, why? It's just on that table there, and there's a pile on that chair. You see a stack of free papers wherever he's talking. Oh, and the windowsill. That plant needs removing. It's dead. But yeah, other than that, you should be fine to look around. Just please don't make a mess.
Just gonna say, yep, absolutely. I'm just gonna slowly close the door behind me and Quill.
So you're inside this office. It's got a sofa, a coffee table, a very, very early form of like tea making equipment on top of a cabinet. Obviously a nice open window on either side of the desk, in the middle of which you see loads of papers, an inkwell with a quill sticking out of it, a load of ledgers on a shelf just up to your top left. Pretty much a businessman's study.
I'm taking a closer look at the dead plant.
Okay. Can I have a look at the desk?
Okay, Quill, make me a nature check.
Cocked.
You want to hear when you're on a battle plan?
23.
You see it's a withering rose. Obviously it's outlived its time. It hasn't been watered properly.
Okay, so there's not, like, any clues hidden there.
No, there's just something on the pot that reads, "To my love, Mr. Kensington."
Oh.
Use the last name?
Think about etiquette in this time. Would women have really been allowed to call their house by their first name? Aaron, history check me. You know. There you go.
Whenever I'm help out Joseph in looking at the desk.
Both of you investigation checks.
$29.
Joseph, you just see a load of papers and a pretty quill. Not quill, but a quill in the inkwell.
Okay.
Quill, you see a load of business papers, like a load of manifests, shipping documents, records of ships and all that. And you do also see a bill of sale.
Bill of sale of what?
A heap of different items, ranging from stock that's being held back to ships to a load of different just within the file, like along with the bill of sale, you see a load of sort of redundancy letters. You can see that he was trying to shrink down his business a lot.
Just start going through the drawers while they're looking through the like inventory logs.
There's just even more papers.
Can I check even more of the drawers?
More papers and a spare quill.
Okay. Can I go to the early version of the team?
Yep. It's pretty much an early version of tea making facilities, so I don't know how extensive that would be on a desk itself, but you have everything around you to make tea. One of the commodities of the British Empire.
How many cups are there at the station?
4.
So, I don't think the butler would normally drink at the same time as the master, so as the couple, possibly 2 guests or acquaintances. Can I feel the cups to see if there's any warm ones been there recently?
Say that again, sorry?
I feel the cups to see if there's any warm ones, to see if anyone was here recently having tea.
All of them are stone cold.
Okay.
Sorry, someone called me. Did I miss anything important?
We haven't found any clues yet, or no obvious ones.
Okay.
Can I pick up the plant to see if there's anything underneath it?
You see a key.
Hmm. Can I look
What's
around for a
this?
keyhole?
Perception check.
That's a nat 1. Hold on.
Can I look for a keyhole?
Yes.
Does
16.
a 4 find a keyhole?
No. You just pick up the key and it's like, right. Where does this go? What did you
Fair
get,
enough.
Quill?
16.
You sort of look around with Joseph, you sort of look a little more intently. But inside one of the cabinets, you find that it is incredibly shallow and met with another door, one which has a lock on it.
Seth, let me take a look at that key you have.
I just hand it over.
I try and insert it into the keyhole.
What are you doing to the cabinet? I see.
So, did you say it fits?
Yeah, you slot it in, it fits, and you go to turn it, you hear a click, and you feel the door swing open a little.
What's inside?
a bunch of letters.
I think we've stumbled upon an affair.
I'll just take a
That's
look
a
at
very
the
important
letters and
business.
look through them one by one.
Can I check the other cabinets for anything similar?
Yep, go ahead and make an investigation check, Joseph. Quill, as you go through them, you see that these aren't love letters or romantically tied at all. They are business letters. As...
That's a 17. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. As you go through them one by one, you start seeing that there's a more heightened urgency going back 3 years to this date. As there's just, it's one by one reports of another ship lost, another piece of cargo that's been stolen, another worker strike, another this, another that. It's just all piling up to more and more bad omens. Until you see the most recent letter that has been sent, which sort of breaks the trend of bad letters, as it says, Kensington, we've landed a deal with some of the docks in Whitehall. We can sell up our properties in the main city and move over to a better area. Trust me, it will be good for business. Signed, Chipley.
Let me just note that down.
Yeah, go for it. As you do note that down, we'll go to Joseph. As you search your way through all the cabinets, you see some fine glasses, some sort of just money boxes, a few things here and there. You do find another one which is met with a sort of little mini safe on the other side.
Is it like a lock or combination safe?
It is combination.
Lovely!
4 digits.
Okay. So.
And I'm going to say this, no, you're not brute forcing your way through it.
Yeah, I knew. The glasses, there wasn't any alcohol, was there?
One did have a nice bottle of gin in it.
So there wasn't a nice bottle of gin in there, and maybe like somewhere in my pocket?
Are you stealing alcohol?
I'm taking evidence to see what kind of person this person was.
Quill just bows their head in disappointment.
Yeah, you can take the bottle of gin.
So this is the only alcohol we found in the room.
Make me a perception check.
Oh no. Okay, that's not horrendous. That is a 21. That's good.
So, as you pick up the bottle, you then have a look. You can see it's been drunk from. So you have a look.
Date on the bottle.
As you look up and down the bottle, you see obviously the nice ornate label. But as you glance up towards the cork, you see something etched into it.
What's etched into the alcohol cork?
7-4, and then 2 underscores.
Can I go to the tea making set and check if any of the like tea leaves have any numbers? Tea leaf box has any numbers on it?
Make me a perception check.
Oh god. Oh no. What does a 12 get me?
You find one of the cups' base has a 6 imprinted on it.
So So we have 7, 4, something, something. One of those somethings, 6.
Can I take a look at the TSAT?
Perception check.
18.
Looking around at it, much like Joseph had, you check under all the cups. You don't see anything else, but as you check under one of the saucers, you see a 2.
Found a 2 here.
Quick order. I'm not sure what happens if we get the safe wrong. If you're this paranoid to have secret cabinets and hidden codes, for all we know, it might burn the contents. That'll set off an alarm, and we'll have to explain to the boys in blue what we're doing. Possibly why I noticed blue in the alcohol.
Then don't steal the alcohol?
Alcohol is, especially gin, beer and stuff, perfectly fine. But aristocratic gin is sort of hard to get a hold of. So from the safe, what's the closest? The saucer or the cup?
Do you mean in terms of distance from the safe?
Yeah.
Both were sort of equal distance.
Okay. Because the bottle, I think, was closest, and then we got further away.
I mean, this is a Victorian safe. There's no sort of technology on it. You could just try both options.
Yeah.
I just didn't want you to
Yeah.
brute force it and go through 10,000 combinations.
We could try 7, 4, 6, 2.
As you try 7462, and you put the numbers in, and before you put the 2 in, you sort of lean away, sort of like, here's to the worst. As you click it up to the 2, and you watch the padlock fall as it unlocks.
I'm gonna do like a victory motion with my hands in the air, just yes. Gonna say after you, and then move out of the way.
I'll take a look at what's inside.
Inside are, much like on the desk itself, are bills of sale, but these are not general bills of sale. These are property sales. Very Monopoly-esque, as you see a sale of the purchase of property down in Whitehall for a new series of docks, along with all the construction companies and all that lovely stuff that has to go into actually building the docks. And you see the bill of sale of a large area within the actual main city itself, between Waterloo Bridge and Blackfriars Bridge.
Property sales.
So a large area between Waterloo and Blackfriars Bridge.
Yes, so it's pretty much slap bang in the middle of the Thames.
Okay. Maybe he wasn't selling an item, but was giving someone like a deed of ownership, and that's what's got stolen from his carriage. Is there any deals that have been completed recently?
As you can gather from the letter sent to the butler and the sort of gap in when he was last doing business, the bill of sale was the last thing he acquired before he went on his massive trip around Europe.
Okay. Say that again. Which bill of sale?
The bill of sale for purchasing the property in Whitehall.
That's the one we're near. Or is this a new one?
Let me just make sure it is actually Whitehall. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I don't want to say Whitehall and everyone's like, oh, actually that's like 20 miles from the Thames.
I'm not good at geography, so I'm trying to figure out where's where at the moment. So if I'm horrifically wrong, don't be surprised.
I cannot... Right, okay, let's go. Let's do one better. Oh, yeah, excellent. It was not Whitehall. My apologies.
Where was that?
Let me just... Give me a second. I need to find it.
He stole the river Thames.
No.
No! We have to dispose of these things.
Shadwell. That's the one.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of that place, so this will be fun. Does it say exactly which property in Shadwell?
He was just
Property
buying up
there.
a large area to build docks, wasn't he?
Yes.
So he wasn't shrinking his business, he was just trying to move piece by piece. Something tells me he didn't trust his people at the docks.
As you find this information, you do see the room go a little bit darker as you see the sky turning from its blue to orange phase as night slowly approaches.
The butler. Can I go like talk to the butler?
Yep.
I'm just gonna sort of open the door and yell. What was it, Whiting?
Yes.
I'm just gonna yell, Mr. Whiting!
You hear it. Yes, yes. Did you find anything?
Yes, did you know about the safes in the room?
Well, I'm not really allowed in the study, I'm afraid. I more sort of attend to the corridors of this place.
Find it. You're going above and beyond, I see.
Why, yes, sir.
Know if he had any relations with the people at the dock. They were good or...
No, I remember there was a lot of bickering, a lot of confrontation between the two parties at some point.
Simply was this, would you say?
Well, ever since like 2 years ago, when they started accusing him of deliberately sinking ships in the Atlantic.
Did you know he was planning on moving his business?
I'd heard it in meetings he'd had with people, but I had not well, I'd not properly seen it for myself.
So how distraught you were when you, well, lost your employer? Do you think the dockers would care so much that they lost one employer, not just... needed to switch to another?
I mean, if anything, I think they'd be kind of happy. I mean, while Kensington was a nice man to be around, he wasn't exactly the best when it came to understanding people.
As if just going to really understand what this person was like all of a sudden. So knew the way to please you and how to get money in his, but never really understood you then.
Yeah, he wasn't really the best in terms of a people person. I'm surprised he managed to get his wife, but then again, what can you really do if someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, you're gonna be my wife"? Then so they sort of have to roll over, do they not?
Fortunately, you're fine. So, someone was mad enough to kill not just him, but his wife. To steal not his items worth money, but what I assume to be property bills.
Yes. Well, obviously the workers would have kicked up a fuss if they had found out that he was going to sell the docks completely.
Do you know if he told them, or do you think they found out and got a bit uncivilized?
I do not know of Master Kensington's intentions, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
That dead plant. Why didn't you move it while you were cleaning? Were you under instructions not to?
Oh, I always knew he liked to keep care of it. It was a present from his wife. Something to help potentially lighten the mood. But I've been slacking recently. There's been so much going on. I couldn't keep up with it, unfortunately.
Do you mind giving me the address of all the docks you up until now?
I mean, his main dock was between. What does it say on here? Because it's actually.
I'm whipping up my notepad immediately.
Right, let's see. No.
I can't be asked to note all of the docks down, so I'll just let Toby deal
Yeah.
with it.
Fair enough. Well, it was the main docks in the city, just west of Blackfriars Bridge. There was also a small dock he had just in Lambeth, opposite the houses themselves. Between Westminster Bridge and Waterloo. Other than that, I do not know if he had any in, say, Hull, Margate, Harwich. I'm not too sure. I think they're too far out of his reach. But he did own a fair few more. He owned a bit down in Portsmouth until he had to sell that for loss of money, unfortunately. He was very distraught about that. Yes.
Out of game. Where was he on his way to before he died? It was, you say, Park.
Victoria Park.
Park somewhere.
Did you say? I can't remember which park you said he was on his way to before he died.
Oh, his plan was always to, on his return, he was going to take a nice walk in Victoria Park. It's on the outskirts of London, so I assume it would have been nice to get some peace and quiet.
Okay, is that near any rivers or
Nope.
the Thames? Okay. I'm not good with where stuff is.
Hey, don't worry. I've got a big map of London in front of me that I'm just constantly like rubber banding to, just so then I can actually give you accurate descriptions of where things are.
Is there any big main roads nearby? Or is it just outskirt?
Oh, near Victoria Road. Oh, why does the writing have to be so shit on this map? Luckily, I have alternative. Are you asking the butler? Or are you just wanting to use your knowledge?
I'll try and use my knowledge, and if I can't remember, I'll ask the butler.
Survival check. It's been a while since you've been to that part of London.
Oh. Does a 16 get me anything?
16 will get you that the nearest quote-unquote main road that leads towards Victoria Park is Hackney Road.
Is that a distance away?
Yes, you're looking at going across the entirety of the City of London and Whitechapel.
Ah, okay.
And with night closing in, I don't think it would be worth it. But that's just my opinion, you know, I'm only the DM, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want.
I was just gonna see if he was perhaps scouting any buildings to buy while he was on his quest.
Well, you would certainly wouldn't have passed a lot.
If there was like one near main road or business place, just been seeing where to move. Operation like his house or his warehouse of stuff. Because I don't think he trusts the docks that much after the sinking of ships.
You would know there's not many warehouses within the north part of London. In the south part, it's definitely a lot more frequent, but the north part is not so much.
I'm gonna go back in the room to look at Quill and ask, do you want to head to the office for the night, or do you want to see some docks?
We should probably head to the office for tonight. Tomorrow there are a few leads we have to track down.
Oh, allow me to show you two out. It's been nice that there's some sort of closure happening to poor old Master Kensington. I'm sure his sister will stop by and whisk me away into new management, hopefully. Please.
Do you know if your master had any will of any sorts?
I do not know. I don't think he would have told me anything of that, and unfortunately, it's not really something you confide within a butler.
Might be something you delegate to a butler to sort out. Have you been given any documents to run to anyone?
I mean, just a few letters to the post office, nothing too extravagant. I mean, sometimes I've had to chase the train down at Waterloo Station, or, hell, even other stations.
I see. Has any of the letters been heavy of any sorts? Perhaps payments?
Oh, no, of course not. He strictly informs me that they are letters to his sister up in Coventry.
And do you know which bank your master was using at all?
I do not know. It was a series of banks.
I see. That makes things annoying. Good day, Mr. Whiting. We might be back soon.
Oh, yes, of course. Please do knock first. Don't just walk in. Of course.
We'll knock next time, as I just jot down the address again so I don't forget.
Cool. So, obviously, shows you out and gently closes the door behind you. You do see the painted orange sky slowly sort of fading into its black starry form as you hear a few younger people carrying ladders and their equipment to go lamp lighting.
I pull out that alcohol and take a sip.
Yep. How big a sip?
I shall roll my d4.
So we've got like small sip,
Like-
moderate, hefty, Maku.
1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallons, or 4.
I've got a 2, so that would be a moderate one. Not quite a Maku chug.
Go and make me a con save.
Okay. That's a 15.
Yeah, you take it well. It's got a nice sort of... It's a nice spice to it. It's very ornate.
I'll offer the bowl to Quill next.
No, thank you.
Technically off hours, we're not investigating anymore.
You know I don't drink.
I know I haven't convinced you yet, but that's not going to stop me. Let's just take another medium swig.
Go ahead and make another con save then.
Okay. Oh, that was cocked.
This is where Joseph dies.
That's a... Hopefully not. That is a 13.
It hits you a little heavier. Obviously you stumble back a pace, but you're still upright. You're still compass. You know, it might be a fun walk home. Just make sure nothing trips and falls you on the way.
Remember, did I take the umbrella back from...
The opium den.
Or the opium den? That was a good point.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay. Can I just tip a little bit into the bottom of the umbrella?
Oh my god.
No! First you get them hooked on opium, and now you
No.
make them into alcoholics.
These rats all deserve a Victoria Cross in themselves for being able to withstand Joseph Singer's fucking. Ugh.
I'm not gonna drown them, it's just like a little bit at the bottom. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
a
I've
little
got
bit of
like 3
pure
bottles
gin.
just...
Sure,
I don't-
sure, you
I'm
can
not
if you
gonna-
want
just-
to.
contaminated with the river water.
If you want to, you can.
Can I let them sniff it first to see if they like hate it? Before I just tip it in.
So what? So what? You're just gonna tip the umbrella up and just sort of waft it under. You see a few of your rats come out and they sniff it and they back away as if to say no.
Just gonna say, you guys too? And then just sort of try and put it in my coat without spilling it.
You should maybe put the
Although,
lid
like,
on.
It's a cork. I'm not sure if I can actually push it hard enough to get in the bottle deep.
I'm pretty sure corks are designed to be put back on.
Yes.
Good.
So
Cork need a bowl, or is it just in?
yep, you obviously you see your rats don't like it. You pop the umbrella down. You then grab the cork. You then just wedge it in. So then you know it's not going to come out.
In any space I can find in my waistcoat.
Any space that isn't full of rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you just stuff it to the brim with rats?
Yeah, well,
Perhaps.
12 rats in the waistcoat, 3 under the hat, and 9 in the umbrella.
There's not going to be space for the gin. It's all rats.
Just gonna tuck it under my armpit as we walk.
So, as you make your way back to the office, it's pretty late, obviously, because it coming up to the summer solstice. You see a lot of people out just finishing work, closing up shops, a few lamplighters getting to work. It's a nice walk back to Oxford Street. and then subsequently Barter Street, as you unlock the door to your office again, make your way in, and close it for one final time. The rats all disperse, like they just crawl and just go.
I'm just gonna pour a little bit more milk from yesterday or this morning into the bowl.
So as you do, you see them swarm around once again, getting basically what is supper time.
A little head count, make sure I haven't lost any throughout the day.
You do count 24.
Lovely.
So what is it you two are gonna do for the night?
Gonna hang up my trench coat, and I'm just gonna. I can't remember. Does Victorian England have sinks, or do we just have to go to a well and get like a?
Ooh. That is a good question.
Or just put a bit of piss through it around to refilter.
I don't want Victorian Emporium. I want... Yeah, they would have some sort of way of retrieving running water. I think it's more wells, if I'm correct. You know, like Broad Street. Yeah, water pumps.
So, okay. How heavy would you say a bucket of water is in pounds?
Oh, oh god, that's a good question.
Is it under 10?
I would definitely, yeah, it would be heavy. It wouldn't be too heavy for you to carry, though.
Would it be under 10 pounds?
Oh god, hold on.
Do you want to carry it with mage hand?
With rat hand, yes. I am no mage.
Oh. So, a bucket of water is roughly 5 gallons. At room temperature, 5 gallons of water weighs 41 pounds.
Send 40 rats over. Just share the work. Send 24 rats to get a bucket of water. Really confuse the local.
Yeah, I will say, as you walked in, you would have noticed a note slipped under the door from Anastasia in very terrible chicken scratch. It just says, "Gone to hunt S."
On to hunts. Who's hunts? Okay.
Or is it hunt ass?
It is like every word is on a different line, so it's "Gone to hunt S."
Okay. Yeah, Milkmaid definitely has ambition to be a detective. Fortunately, I can't remember the last time we had a female detective actually last a while around here. Is there a sofa in the office I can just sort of go to sleep?
Yeah. Well, you got sofas, you got beds, you got hammocks. You've pretty much got one of everything. Just so then you can pick and choose as you see fit.
Expecting my bed to be full of either papers or rats, to be honest. I'll try the bed. Hopefully the rats just have their own.
As you pull back the sheet, you do see like all the rats curled up under it, and as you move the sheet up, they sort of go down to where the blanket is still part of the bed.
I'm just gonna very slowly get in and then very, slowly cover my.
As you do, you feel movement from the bed as the rats all sleep either side of you.
Aww.
and tuck the rats in, like so the blanket goes underneath them.
What's Quill gonna do?
Yeah, also, what happened to
They're
your
just-
pigeon?
The pigeon
They're
can
just
fly.
like the pigeon is probably just gonna like sit in like the nest made in the corner of the
Okay.
room as Quill just goes to bed.
Fair enough. So, as you both sort of doze off, Joseph surrounded by his 24 rats, and Quill surrounded by papers and the looming interest of what could potentially be something bigger. You drift off for the night. Obviously, Anastasia having not made contact since the start of this case, but you feel they're in safe hands. You know, they're in Whitechapel, they're in their home turf. They've survived this long there. What's the worst that could happen? As the next day dawns, June 18th, bright and early in the morning, as the sun peers through the thin curtains of the office, Joseph,
Yes.
you wake up to find yourself in the bed. No rats around you. As then
I peek. Go on.
as you slowly sort of like come to, and it's like, where the fuck are they? You then hear them all running about down below, just below the bed.
Can I have a look if the milk bowl is like spilled over or anything silly?
The milk bowl, you do see a little bit of milk that has been spilt, but not enough to send them all completely loopy.
Not enough to bother crying over.
Exactly.
Can I look to see if Quill's bird is freaking out or if it's just my rats?
I mean, you can certainly have a look. Quill's pigeon is still quite just asleep, really.
Can I try and get out of bed without stepping on any of them?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a. I know it's sleight of foot, but make a sleight of hand check.
I need to find my mod. That 1 second. Okay, that's not good. I might be down to 23 bats depending on.
Uh-oh.
You step out, you hear squeak.
Crunch.
That's a 5!
You step out of bed, and you hear squeak.
Immediately take my foot off. Are they okay?
As you take the foot off, they sort of look at you as if to say, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?"
um. Can I try and toss the blanket down to see if they all hide underneath it that way? Step somewhere else.
Yep. As you do, you sort of throw the blanket down, and you watch as they all sort of scurry over and hide under the blanket.
I'm gonna get out of bed where there isn't any rats and simply whisper in German, "What you all?"
Say that again, sorry?
What are you all afraid of? But I'm saying it in German.
You've seen them, Wallace and Gromit style, all just look at you, look to each other, look to you, and then just go under the blanket. Quill.
I check like under the bed.
Yes.
So while you check under the bed, Quill, what are you gonna do when you wake up?
He's probably just gonna be like generally reviewing the evidence he's gathered, and like then just waiting for Joseph to be ready to start tracking down leads.
Righty ho. So, Joseph, as you look under the bed, you don't see any other rats. It's actually clean since Anastasia sort of hoofed all the shit out from under it. Oh, Toby, we're losing you.
Say that again, sorry.
Oh, we were. I'm guessing there was connection issues there.
I heard you talking to Shiva, and then it just all went silent, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, so as you look under the bed, Joseph, you don't see anything out of the ordinary, just a few cases, and then it's sufficiently tidy from Anastasia yanking out all the shit from under it.
Okay. Can I see if there's anything going on outside that might have spooked them?
As you open the sheets to the window, you just see the peering of glorious sun across London. Nothing really too much. They just sort of want to favour the dark.
Close the curtains again. I'm just gonna say maybe a day at home will be good for you, but I'm gonna put all the files somewhere high up so they can't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. As you two sort of like go about your business, you just hear a knock at the door, and then something gets slipped through the door.
Okay. Gonna
I might go over to see it.
yeah, same.
You see a letter. It's got no address, no name on it. But as you open it up,
Open the door to see if I could see the person who dropped it off.
yep, as you open the door and you peer out, you don't see anyone, just a lamplighter returning from their run.
I'm gonna look at them and did you drop a letter off?
Do I look like I could drop a letter off, sir?
You have hands, don't you? Did you drop the letter?
I focus on lamps, not letters, sir.
Carry on then, as I just simply duck my head back in.
Did the lamp drop the letter off?
Fuck's sake.
Peek outside the window for living lamps.
You don't see any, surprisingly.
Damn it. Okay.
Deceased lamps?
God's sake. Oh, I want to... Oh. Please tell me you didn't just say that.
Regrettably, I can't.
Oh.
What's getting cut out of these streams?
No, it's staying in. It's staying in. Don't worry. It's going a lot better than the ones we left behind. That was a lot more chaotic.
Shh, no.
Right, but as you open the letter, you don't see anything other than that.
I see an image has just appeared.
That is all that is in the letter.
Lovely.
It's all that's in it.
So we can spell. No, we can't spell that. We can spell wank with a C, but with an R. We can spell.
Oh my god. Just immediately.
What else can we spell? Wanak?
For fuck's sake.
Wankex, the new Victorian company. I know who the culprit is.
It's the man with the mysteriously fast arms.
Professional fighter? No. Master debater.
Commission your master debater at wankx.com. Oh my god.
The man wanted by the straightest of men.
Oh, that's going as one of the shorts. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ.
The man, the myth, the wanker. Just all these official titles. It's just amazing.
Victorian Durex. This is...
Sorry, I know this is meant to be like a very complicated puzzle, but can I just go search for a company called Wank?
My head is in my hands. Like...
Oh no.
You're gonna fucking shit bricks when I tell you what it is, like, later on down the line. Oh, fucking hell. On the back of the piece of paper, promoting Wank X is a... is...
Please tell me you noticed you could spell this before you gave us this puzzle.
No, I was just I was just messing about with it, and I was like, actually, that'd be a good, like, sort of plant that gives a nice baseline. And then I put it in, and Toby's like, oh, what can I spell? I can spell wank with a C.
And I saw the X in the corner, like...
Oh. But yeah, on the back...
X-wanker, maybe they've recovered? Sorry, continue. Sorry, I'll shut up, I swear. I'll be quiet.
So, on the back of the piece of paper... Shut up, Erin! Shut up! Oh, fucking hell! So, as you turn over the piece of paper, there's a message that says, use this whistly, with an arrow pointing between the S and the L and the E put on top to make it wisely. Fuck.
Letters is what they're trying to tell us.
Yes!
Right. So, what exactly was it on the back? Like...
Use this
I feel like I should
wisely.
write this down. What were the letters that they put in for no reason?
Well, no, they misspelled wisely, so they had to make the correction.
So we're dealing with an idiot and a smart person. Reminds me of a current situation. A detective who can't actually see anything, and a detective who's generally doing their job. I've lost my pencil. Whoever just put it. I lost it in the laughing. Hold on. I continue. I'll find it.
Aaron, I think they're talking about themselves.
Yeah, they're sort of saying that, like, Joseph can't see and detect anything, and they're paired up with Quill, who's, like, a mastermind. I did originally think you were referencing Anastasia, but then when you said, and then you partnered with Quill, it's like, oh, okay, that's where he was going.
Yeah, because every investigation check I've done has either been a 6 or like a very, very high. So we have Wank X.
No!
Okay, we just
And
walk
what
around
were the other?
streets of
How do they
London
spell wisely?
asking everyone we meet if they know a Mr. Wank X.
Oh
Problem
no!
is, we're gonna actually find this poor person. Sorry, sir. First of all, for your name. And second of all, because we think you've done a murder.
Oh.
Really old man in a makeshift wheelchair. Just, you're gonna have to come with us, sir. Wang.
I.
That is not a name we need.
No, it's not.
But it's the name we have.
Hold on, how did they spell wisely again? How did they spell it wrong?
They spelt it without the E, so they spelt it Wisly and then added the E in later. Oh, I've just read Aaron's messages. Fuck's sake. All this because I put WANC and X on a piece of paper. Remind me never ever to do that again.
We have a cumulative mental age of 3.
Every time you make a puzzle, you just have to double check it to make sure we can't spell like cock or anything.
Yeah, I'm now gonna vigorously, like, for the future series of this, if there are any, I'm just gonna vigorously go through all the puzzle hints and be like, are there any innuendos or lewd words?
Is there any no words for these kids?
Is there any pre-watershed words? Because I don't trust any of my players.
How long have we spent giggling over wank eggs?
10 minutes.
Okay, but what does a cipher actually mean? 'Cause I don't recognize the format off the bat, other than with like mathematics, but with letters.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so it's a 6x6 grid. If we end up making our own word set, it's going to be very... No, because one of them's blank. It's like a number square. You're gonna make us do algebra. You're gonna make us do like a times x equals, I don't know,
No.
e, and then we have to figure it out from there.
No, I'm not gonna make you do algebra. Okay. There will be there are 2 additional clues to help solve this.
Okay.
Do we have them?
No, not yet.
Fuck you, I'm solving it now anyway.
You don't even have the message that it's used to decrypt.
I'm still solving.
Can I see if they're coordinates on a map? See if they line up with any warehouses or anything?
No, they do not.
Okay, lovely. So it is definitely for a message of some sort.
It's for the warehouse of Wank X. Thank God I also deleted the
is it the
E and
word
R from
in...
it.
Is the yellow...
If I
Is it
kept...
the yellow is the words we need?
I can't tell you that. We will send another 10-minute what?
They're trying to bribe you to give us the clues.
You can't bribe me. You gotta work this out. You don't even have the, like, the,
Message to decrypt.
Yeah, you don't even have the message that this is used to decipher, so you have nothing to go off.
Okay.
Is there any other murders that's happened recently?
It's London. There are plenty.
Is there any murders we need to care about?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. Can I try and see what the rats are so, like, over the moon about?
As you go and just sort of lift up the blanket a little, you see them all huddled, still sleeping.
Oh, so
Over the moon
tired.
about
Okay.
Wank X, of course.
Fuck's sake. Fuck off.
I hate the idea of a bunch of rats doing that in the bed while I was sleeping. Even worse about them doing it on the floor. I shouldn't have slipped out of bed. It's all over the floor. No. My new blanket. No.
Why?
All the
Why
rat
did you have to
babies.
say that?
No.
Actual
Oh.
tears. Actual.
Oh no. That's my bad.
I did not ask for this level of association with the furry community.
Who actually asks for that? Like,
Not me.
people don't wake up in the morning and think, that's it, I'm going to get frisky with an animal. I also didn't think the animals would wake up and say, let's get frisky in bed, but
I mean Romans do.
pancakes are struck again. What?
I mean Romans
Say
do.
that again. Oh. I misheard you, I'm not sure if that was Discord. I really thought you said Romans do. I just had a horrendous experience with a Roomba first. I was like, number one, that's not an animal. Number two, what happened to you? But okay, moving on, please,
Yeah.
before we get more batches everywhere.
So
Mm-mm.
you have this letter.
You cannot make that noise after what I just said.
You have this letter with a cipher. You already have one crime that you're underway solving. You don't have anything to go off with this letter. What are you gonna do?
Brute force it.
You cannot brute force it.
It's the cipher. We don't know what we're trying to brute force yet.
You have 37 times 10 to the power of 42 different combinations.
It's like having a key to no
I
lock.
like those odds.
No. I am blacklisting the brute force of this at the moment. So, what are you gonna do?
I would go to Victoria Park if Toby's investigation checks had been less consistently terrible, so I'll go with Joseph.
So, where are you two gonna go?
To the docks.
Which docks?
All of them
His main docks.
at the same time.
So you know specifically he had business with the docks in the main city of London and also in Lambeth. Which one are you going to first?
The main London one first, because I feel like that's close.
Okay. So obviously you gather your bits. Are you taking your rats with you?
I think 12.
Okay, you take half the group of rats. That's fine. That's enough to fit under your trench coat. As you head out, you see London starting to wake up. The industry wheels fire up as everything churns into life. Oh god, let me get my map so I can actually tell you the streets you walk down.
We don't get mugged. It's fine.
Oh, it's actually just one street. Sorry, unprofessional yawn. So as you come out of the office, you go down Oxford Street and then turn left, go past Lincoln Park, down towards the docks themselves. By the time you reach there, you see many a different ship and boat ferrying cargo up and down the Thames, crates, containers, coal, stuff like that, just going back and forwards. You do see the main docks of where a couple ships are currently anchored and some ship workers taking off some materials and some crates. They look very disgruntled and very angry, but they're carrying on with the job regardless.
Can I go up to one of them and ask where their boss is?
So as you go down, you pick up the first one you see. He's like, "What do you want?"
I need to speak to whoever you're working for currently. Could you point me in the right direction?
Foreman's over on Dock 4. You'd be better off speaking with them anyway. It's no use getting any information out of us lowlifes.
Has someone spoke down to you recently?
Fucking everyone speaks down to me, mate. I'm only a
I
lonely
rummaged around the
shitworker.
waistcoat for a bit of that gin.
Oh, you fucking took the gym with you, did you?
Well, I didn't take it out my waistcoat, did I?
You didn't, did you? As
Do I have it on me?
you do have it on you.
I'm just gonna say, just a swig, just to cheer you up. Don't die in the workplace or anything.
Why the fuck should I trust you? You look like you're poncy enough.
I'm just gonna take a sip and go, yummy.
It's gonna insight check the shit out of that. That's an 8.
It's fucking delicious.
But it looks around, it's like, well, it gives a quick sip then.
Just hand over the bowl.
He takes a little sip and he's like, oh, that's definitely saved the mood. Right, let's get back to work. Go talk with the foreman.
Thank you, good sir. As I'm just gonna walk over to where I think Dock 4 is.
So you,
I'm going with them.
So as you walk down, you do eventually hear someone bellowing orders and sort of like reading off a clipboard to a group of workers who have just started. They're in a little bit better uniform than sort of like slacks and overalls that the rest of the dockyards are working in. But at the end, they stick the clipboard under their arm and just shoo off the workers.
I assume you're the foreman then?
And who wants to know?
I'm here to see if your boss is a... I'm gonna look down at my book. Mr. Kingsington?
Mr. Kensington. I haven't heard from him in 4 months. He was apparently meant to come by yesterday. Fucking didn't. Posh twat he is.
He got, interrupted.
Did he
What
now?
kind of business was he down here to see?
It's to oversee us all, you know, as a boss does. Some shit one at that.
Out of interest, when was the last time you got paid?
We get paid monthly. It's not a lot, but it's enough. Sort of in 4 installments, you know, week's worth.
Well, I've heard he argued with some of his dock people a lot. Is that you, or do I need to speak to someone else?
You're probably speaking to the right person. You only ever talk to the foremans. None of these mangy lot who slave away all day, working for only 7 and 8 shillings.
The arguments you've had with them recently, can you tell me what they're about, or at least how heated they were?
Oh, they were pretty heated, alright. Last time was about just before he went on his little trip to Europe. It came down and he was like, right, I'm going to have to lay off a few more of your staff. And I was like, we can't afford to lose any more staff. And he was like, well, unfortunately, I can't afford to pay you all. So here's the people I'm listing off. I said, you do that and you're going to fucking turn this business under. He didn't give a fuck. He just simply cared about the profit of it all.
Has any of the workers that's been laid off came back? Or said anything like, I'm going to run a poll, burn you alive?
Nothing quite so specific, but they've come back every now and again. They say hi, see how things are going. You know, and sometimes we manage to sneak him onto the payroll and get him back into work. He doesn't notice. He just pays the wages at the end of the day.
Apparently he suspected ships were being sunk on purpose. Have you been maybe making an extra profit when you can?
Why'd we sink the stuff that's keeping us in business? Sat in the Atlantic, them storms, especially along the channel. When it gets rough out there, my god, does it get fucking rough. and a few ships up to Norway. It's not the easiest journey going across the North Sea.
Surely you could just have them land at a different dock and say they sunk, collect their cargo, and, well, sell them.
The easiest place to ship anything to anywhere is from the heart of the Empire itself. Why'd we bother going through places like Harwich, Hull, Portsmouth, places like that?
Things people do for greed. But since you seem so adamant, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You see, something has recently happened. I just want to see what.
Alright. What's happened to our nosy-toesy boss of a fucker?
It got into a bit of a carriage accident.
Oh. What sort
Would
of...
you happen to know anything about that?
I remember something about something going down within the main streets. Didn't realise it was him, otherwise I would have cheered harder.
So you're telling me you had no idea that an attack was going to...
I knew something was going on. There was gossip all around in the afternoon, especially towards the evening, but nothing was really said until, obviously, you and your posh old friend came along and started asking questions.
Do you have any business rivals who could have got a hold of the schedule, boss?
Well, you've got that dock, that dock, and that dock, as he points to a load of different docks around the area. And just down there at dock number 8, all of them are owned by different companies.
Do any of these companies begin with, say, S or anything like that?
Apart from Southwark Shipping, that's about it. It's just on the other side of...
Did they,
Just on the other side of Waterloo Bridge.
contact with any of those workers recently?
We all have contacts. We all work in the same docks. We just get paid different. We get paid to do different jobs. But at the end of the day, it's all moving stuff around from ship to ship.
Find me trying to talk with one of these workers.
So it looks around. It's like, "Oi, you there, lad? Come here." As you see one, a little younger lad in with no shirt on but trousers and suspenders, just walks up, grime across his face and all across his hands and arms. "What do you want, boss? These lads want to work with you. Alright?"
What do you know about Suffolk shipping?
Suffolk Shipping handles more sort of consumer goods, you know? Your foods, your waters, stuff that people, I guess, kind of like yourselves would rather handle.
Have either of you moved anything big recently? Anything someone deal?
Probably biggest thing we deal with some of the barges of coal and, I don't know, crates of a few suspect items coming in from Brandenburg.
What kind of items?
It just says top secret, classified, don't ask. But they just simply say, move it from this ship to that ship and make sure it gets on its way.
Have you ever dealt with any jewelry of any kind?
Oh, that sort of stuff you're looking at a different dock, mate. We don't handle that stuff.
If someone was to try and smuggle something in, be the best dock to go.
You'd be, well, I guess you could say any dock really, so long as you get the quiet hours between 10 and 2 in the night, obviously.
Would any of the foremans be more, say, to bribery or any corruption?
They just want to get the work done. So long as stuff gets moved and quotas get met, they don't really care what happens.
Look at the foreman and say, off the record, have you done any shifty?
There's been a few shifty stuff come through. Obviously, not stuff I'm proud of moving, but it's mainly stuff that can't get through certain places, if you understand what I mean.
Have you done any business with Yang Tao recently?
Yang Ta... Oh?
Have you moved any poppy seeds around?
What the fuck would we get our hands on that?
Let's see. So you're not the doc moving it in?
Course not. We may be dodgy shipyard folk, but if you want more of that stuff, you might want to try investigate the shipyarders. They'll take anything and everything under the sun.
Good to know. I'm just gonna offer him a bottle, not the bottle, but some of the gin. For your troubles.
Don't mind if I do. I had a Yank come through here one day. Said he always drank breakfast, lunch and tea. Don't see the point in it myself, but a little cheeky sip wouldn't hurt, as he just takes a little swig and he's like, oh, definitely something I needed. Thanks very much.
I'll leave you to your work then.
Wait.
Yeah.
Out of game, have we actually told him that his employer died? Or have we just said that he was in a carriage accident?
Carriage accident. Because I don't need him realizing that he's getting paid for the next week of work. If they stop importing stuff, we're going to run out of sugar. All the tea sets and alcohol is just going to be at a standstill at the docks.
First world problems.
Shh. Where else is Joseph going to get all? Okay. You can tell them if you want. I just didn't want to spread the death more than we needed to. See if anyone's surprised.
Just before we go, my colleague hasn't made it quite clear.
Oi?
Your employer was in a rather lethal accident.
Oh, so that carriage accident resulted in his death, did it?
Along with his wife.
Well, I can say it's sad to see someone go, but honestly, he was such a fucking pain in the ass. Surely someone will sweep up our contracts, they always do.
Did you know he was planning on moving his business or no?
It was what?
It seems he had plans to relocate to a smaller,
in
more
Shadwell.
peaceful area.
So that's why he was fucking laying us all off. He wanted to cut down the workforce so then he could turn us all into fucking builders. Lovely.
Something was stolen by his carriage. I personally think it might have been the plans for this station. Do you know anyone else laying anyone off?
I haven't heard anything. I mean, if you're asking me, all the other docks around there just keep hiring people. They keep making money, they keep buying more stuff, they need more workers. He was the only one who was doing it the other way around.
Can I write down the address of the office and give it to
The office of Kensington.
our detective office?
Sure, if you want.
If anything changes about the layoffs, just pop in.
Alright, will do. Now, as I say, you might want to check out them steam yarders over in Lambeth. They're pretty aggressive, and if you want to know who's smuggling in stuff, that could be your answer.
Aggressive, eh? Note to self.
To think they're doing it
I'm
right
just-
under the eyes of Parliament is actually quite fucking impressive.
I'm just gonna give a little wave and walk off. Turn to Quill. Do you want to go check out the Suffolk shipping dock, or do you want to go see the shipyarders?
Out of game, which is nearer?
So what are the two options?
The Suffolk dock and the shipyarders.
Southwark Dock would be, you would have to pass it to get to Lambeth Docks. So the Southwark Shipyard is closer by a country mile. Well, not quite a country mile, but a significant distance.
Okay, we should go to Suffolk Dock first then.
Okay,
The other dock.
so you climb up off the dock onto the main bank. You make your way across Waterloo Road, descending down onto the other dock. You see them hauling various different sizes of crates with loads of different manifests attached to them, loads of different pictures painted on them. But as you're walking up, one of the shipyards catches wind and sight. All right there, lads.
Yes, can we speak to your foreman?
Big man in a top hat, just on the platform.
Thank you, good sir. So just look around for the top hat man.
You see him. You see him chatting to a couple other of the workers, just like sort of indicating what to do. And
No, walk up behind them.
ending up, you hear him saying, "Now, I want these 4 crates moved onto that ship because they're going to Amsterdam, and I need that crate moved onto that cart over there because that's going into the warehouses. You got that?" As a workers nod and run off as he's like, morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
What can I do for you?
We are investigating the incident that happened yesterday in the streets. We are wondering if any workers been laid off or any suspicious packages have been moved.
I can say I've had no suspicious packages through my shipyard. A lot of it is all nice and clean. All your sugar, your spices, especially from India. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. About that accident, I heard about that. It was quite a bad one, wasn't it?
It resulted in quite serious injuries.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you knew some. I'm just gonna do, like, make a mark on the shoe, drag a line to the rouse this long of a pole, made out of metal.
It just sounds like a standard metal pole that we'd use. You know, just for mending up the docks, propping up stuff on ships. You know the likes.
Any markings on it to indicate which dock, or would it just be plain metal?
Should all just be plain metal. We all pass it all around equally.
I don't suppose you keep a logbook of each pole, do you?
To be honest, it's more just a Thames agreement, as we call it. You know, we all have this certain communal stockpile of stuff, and to keep everything running smoothly and community spirits high, we all just share it around.
So you wouldn't notice if one went missing one afternoon.
Probably not, no.
Have you heard any gossip about a attack on a carriage before the incident?
Attacks on carriages, oh, that's not on this side of the river, but on that side, as he nods his head to the South London. I can definitely say there's about a 200% more chance of finding a carriage attack there than there is here.
You work for the Suffolk company, right?
Oh yes, Southwark Shipping. Finest.
Have
consumer goods in London.
any of your competitors threatened you or anything?
Well, I mean, there's a few talks going round of like people buying other docks, people buying up stock and all that, but ultimately, it's nothing that really infringes on us, apart from the docks over there, old Kensington's.
They've been threatening you?
No, it's not threatening, it's more just selling. There's no competition in it. It's just being sold.
Do you know why they were just getting sold and sent off?
He looks around and then just leans into you two. From what I've heard, old Kensington's running out of money. It's
I see.
surprising he hasn't decided to dock the pay of his workers. At least he knows that much.
No. Do you know who pays the workers? Which bank they get paid from?
That would be Westminster Bank.
Hmm. Thank you, good sir. If anything else comes up, speak to the foreman at the King's Station. Direct you to where we are.
Alright. Oh, just a quick thing. You're investigators, aren't you?
Even if we do get some odd whispers of bad business, unless we're paid.
He pulls you over to one side and just points down the Thames towards the dock that you were about to head to anyway. That dock there, violent gang, shipyarders.
Ah. So maybe don't walk in there. But
Yeah, I wouldn't walk in there and sort of say, "We're detectives. Can we ask you a few questions?" I wouldn't do that, mate.
do they have any contacts within? Well, and I look around these docks that I could talk to first.
They have a few people who sort of patrol up and down the Thames, but ultimately they like to stick in their little docks and their sort of under the radar bits, whatever a radar is. They keep saying it, but I don't know what it means. What is a radar?
I checked. I have no clue. Well,
Radar won't be invented for another 70 years at least, so that was a slip of my tongue on that one.
no, it's just they heard something wrong and it's just evolved.
There you go.
That's how colloquialism works.
All I know is that it's kind of similar to bats.
Oh, you mean like it squeaks and it flies around?
I'm resisting the temptation to chuck a rat really, really hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I was close for 70 years, Erin. Right, so what are you two going to do?
So we don't
Those
get
stupid
stabbed to death in
shenanigans.
an alley,
No.
I think we should check out the properties that our deceased friend was buying up.
Okay, so you're going to go head over to Shadwell?
Yes, Shadwell first, and then the area
When
between the two
was-
bridges.
When was the first camo invented?
Oh, camouflage, you're looking at around, if I want to say it was the 1890s during the Boer War.
I mean- What about like cameras, like the and then you have an image?
Oh, cameras. Cool, that would be mid-1800s if I'm correct?
Damn it. Okay.
Which, it's around the
I wasn't sure if
time.
we had any.
It's definitely around the time that they would, like, start to be entered into, like, sort of prototype use.
But the
Yeah,
technology is
very-
nowhere near advanced enough to be
Oh,
just like
1816,
a thing that
really?
random people
Bloody
be carrying
hell.
around.
Yeah, it's not commercially available, but, like...
Damn it.
Or like...
I had a stupid idea to try and attach massive camera, tiny rats, and just have massive the shipyards.
Yeah, of
Trying to
course.
figure out where the fuck the flashes are coming from.
Yeah, because I just remembered the uh HMS Terror exhibition had a camera, and that was 1841. So yeah, that was my bad. Yeah, they were used for journalism and detectives, but obviously the way cameras work, you needed the still image, and the light would burn it onto a piece of film. So it's not just a click.
Still for an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know if my rats have ADHD. I could actually still for without me.
Oh, do my
Play this
rats
morning does not fill me with confidence.
Yeah. Right. So, are you lot gonna head down to Shadwell?
Yep.
First cell camera was 1888. Oh, so around the time of the Ripper murders. Lovely.
Yeah, they weren't used, were they?
No, they were still using the old tripod cameras for the Jack the Ripper case. I think even for like H.H. Holmes in 1891, they were still using tripod cameras. Right, so you make your long journey. Are you going to go along the bank of the Thames?
Sure.
So taking the easiest way, you go along the bank of the Thames. You go past obviously loads of docks. You see loads of ships, loads of horns blaring. It's your time to talk if you want to.
Why don't you drink?
I've never liked the taste.
Always some good tasting alcohol. Maybe you just haven't found it.
I don't intend to find out. There are more productive endeavors to pursue.
So, you don't approve of keeping evidence. You don't approve of going into drug dens. That I understand. But alcohol, that's completely legal. And God-given.
It's not that I don't approve of it, it's just not to my personal tastes.
Your personal taste, then. All I ever see you doing is fun.
Sorry, Toby, you cut out. What did you say?
All I ever see you doing is reading those files. Is there anything else to your taste?
Non-alcoholic beverages?
Yet you didn't try and steal the tea set.
Yes. Because it's someone else's tea set.
Whose?
Well, obviously, Kensington's dead, but he has relatives. The butler would notice it was gone, and we already have one.
We have a tea set. Mark, do we have a tea set?
You would have one in the office, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Because you said it was an early version of making tea. It was more expensive. Mind.
Hold on, Victor. I didn't think this part
Sorry,
through.
Mark.
Oh yeah, there was definitely like tea sets easy.
Okay.
Fuck, you can buy them today from like 245 quid to 4.5 grand. Jesus Christ.
Why is there such an array of tea sets?
Because they're all decorative and like handmade.
What time did the Industrial Revolution actually like start?
In the UK, it started in the 1780s, if I'm correct.
Okay. So it's been a decent bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of time, but like, yeah.
Hasn't quite reached the tea set well.
Yeah, it hasn't quite reached the modern tea world, like sort of how we would make tea, but it's what I was meant to say, which I'll hold my hand up, I fucked up, is a
No
Victorian
problem.
tea set. It's not like an early version of tea making, it's just a Victorian tea set. My bad.
Okay. Sorry, I just expected the very first kettle to be in.
No, that is literally
Like a
just putting.
toaster but for water.
It's literally just putting a pot of water over a fire. That's the first kettle.
People with the hobs screaming. It's still what we use.
So, as you make your way down the Thames, you do eventually reach Shadwell, and you make your way to the entrance of where the main dock is. Obviously, the stock opened primarily nearly 50 years ago, but you can see that there is a new extension being planned within the actual basin itself.
Okay. Just gonna look at Quill and say I spoke to the last two. Mind doing this one?
Not at all.
Just gonna
I'm
follow behind.
just have a look around to see if there's anyone like who looks like they're like manning the construction or anything.
You have a look around, you see a few people walking around with clipboards and papers, a few with like a couple stencils just for like marking off things, just going around the edge of the actual basin itself.
Can I split off a little bit and look at the crates to see if they have any markings?
Yep. So we'll stick with with Quill for the moment.
I'ma just walk up to one of the people with clipboards.
Okay, as you do the sort of jotting things down, they don't notice you coming, and as you get there, they just sort of flick their head up a little and say, "Good morning."
Hello, are you one of the people sent here for the construction of the new docks?
Why, yes, I am, good sir. I'm the one who's surveying it, making sure that everything is, of course, as to plan.
This may be a slight complication. Mr. Kensington has passed.
Fuck.
It was a rather intentional carriage accident. Trying to figure out who did it.
Right, well,
What exactly?
that goes that contract then, I guess.
What was it that made Kensington want to build the docks here in particular?
His reason for it was to get easier access to the mouth of the estuary. Obviously, it's a little closer than his old docks up in the city, but I didn't see the point in it. But he offered up a sum of £50 for the construction, so I wasn't going to turn it down.
How much is there that we can realistically gain from this? Just like talking to the random people, because like they were just sent there to build the shed.
Well, it depends. Depends on what exactly you're looking for.
What questions you ask is what answers you will get.
Exactly.
Which is why I cannot think of any more good questions.
Neither can I. Is that why you told me to do the questioning this time?
No, that couldn't be me.
We're not very good detectives, are we?
You are a brilliant detective. I'm just letting the good detective sort it out.
Well, your belief is rather misplaced.
Why is the milkmaid a better, more reliable detective? Should we be insulted, or should they just be extremely? Okay.
I think we're just dumb.
So, looking at the crates, Joseph, you do see that they're just standard goods and building materials. Just sort of like kick the construction off, as it were.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck we're gonna gain from this, so I'ma just generally search the area for any potential clues.
Perception check.
Perception or investigation?
Perception, because you're just
Okay.
generally looking around. You're not actively like hunting for
Should we
anything.
do this bit?
24.
The dock obviously has been here for a fair bit of time. It's not the biggest dock in London, but ultimately, whatever Kensington's goals were, he clearly wasn't thinking straight when he was doing it.
Okay. It was Tripley who was the one who convinced him to do it.
Yes.
I'm gonna just go back to the person I talked to before and ask, have you ever heard of a Mr. Tripley?
Tripley, he owns a couple of workhouses down in, oh, what's the place I'm thinking of? Come on. Why is it I can never remember the places of, like, my hometown? Come on. He has a few workhouses down in Bermondsey.
Sorry, you cut out for a sec.
He's got a few workhouses down in Bermondsey. It's just down that way, as he points into South London.
Thank you. I'ma go, like, grab Joseph and then go down to Bermondsey with them.
Okay.
Did the crates have any markings at all to say where craters were?
Just some, the group of crates, they had just, like, a couple of manifests on them. One saying, like, building supplies, and the other saying, just general goods.
Does any of them have any numbers or anything?
Only serial numbers.
How long are the serial numbers?
8 digits.
Okay. Okay.
The
Are
temptation
they all
is there.
numbers?
Yes.
The temptation is
Okay.
there to ask Mark to list off every serial number on every crate.
Absolutely,
in
but
the
I'm not going to
entire
do that to
dock.
Mark. Can I search to any numbers with 062 at the beginning or the end?
All of them.
What's the last four?
None of the crates have 062 anywhere in them. The closest one is 600, which obviously includes 2 of the 3 numbers.
Okay, I'll check the other dog. The actual one he owns.
So, the one he
Weren't we
owned...
warned that there was a violent gang there?
Yeah.
The other one, the Kensington actually owned that dog.
Oh, the one at the city, the one that you first went to.
Yeah, and I forgot to check for any containers with those.
Well, if any containers that were there are long gone.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got 2 leads. You've got go to find Chipley at Bermondsey, or go to Lambeth to investigate these shipyarders.
Violent gang, or do you want to try and take out? Seems to be a business person.
Business person.
Do you think you could handle it on your own? I'm sort of
Okay.
inclined to try and not fight, investigate.
Just
Safe.
please don't get yourself killed.
You can trust my rats; they'll keep me safe. And flea-ridden.
So you're gonna head down to Bermondsey?
Yep.
Right, so as you begin your walk to the nearest bridge to cross the Thames, which, if I'm correct... Yeah, it's London Bridge. So because Tower Bridge hasn't been built yet. So as you begin your walk towards London Bridge, that is where we're going to end it for tonight.